Good day and welcome to the African Broadcasting Network News. I am Chekwube Isaac Eze. Today we'll bring to you our top stories. Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) have met to review the outcome of the report of the Joint Committee set up earlier in January on electronic transmission and collation of results. The Executive Vice Chairman (NCC) Professor Umar Dambata, after the meeting with the INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu on Thursday, described the forum as a huge step towards entrenching free, fair and credible elections in the country. He said the Joint Committee set up 7 months ago by the two agencies had worked hard to produce a document on the basis of which elections could be conducted in a manner conducive, credible and transparent. Speaking, INEC Chairman expressed delight with the way NCC picked up the gauntlet thrown by the INEC and Joint Committee. The European Union delegation to Nigeria and West Africa has condemned the recent blockage of the National Assembly by operatives of the Department of State Services (DSS). Press officers of the EU delegation in Nigeria, Modestus Chukwulaka, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja while reiterating its commitment to democracy in Nigeria, and also called the law enforcement agencies to always remain neutral in the polity. The union commended the federal government's swift action by protecting the independence of the National Assembly as a critical pillar of democracy, and also reiterated the importance of all law enforcement agencies in staying neutral by ensuring that independent institutions operate in line with the constitutional mandates. The EU stressed that the upcoming General 2019 elections was vital towards national stability, peace and prosperity for all Nigerians. The union implored the Nigerian people to decide the outcome of the elections by playing their part so that voters could elect leaders through free, fair, credible and peaceful elections. Meanwhile, the president of Association of Nigeria Authors (ANA), Denja Abdullahi, and the Assistant General Secretary Mike Ostega, in a statement, has condemned the manner in which politicians are switching camps, disconnecting and connecting new political cables and raising new converters to ignite the political space. And now on business news. US curbs on Russian banks. Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev said on Friday that Russia would consider any U.S. move to curb the operations of Russian banks of their foreign currency dealings a declaration of economic war. The United States announced a new round of sanctions on Wednesday targeting Russia that pushed the ruble to 2-year lows and sparked a wider sell-off over fears Russia was locked in a spiral of never-ending sanctions. Separate legislation introduced last week in draft form by Republican and Democratic senators proposes curbs on the operations of several state-owned Russian banks in the United States and restrictions on their use of the dollar. Medvedev said Moscow would take economic, political or other retaliatory measures against the United States if Washington targeted Russian banks, and the fate of the bill he was referring to is not certain. The full U.S. Congress will not be back in Washington until September, and even then, congressional aides said they did not expect the measure would pass its entirety. While it was difficult to assess so far in advance, they said it was more likely that only some of its provision would be included as amendment in other pieces of legislation, such as a spending bill Congress must pass before September 30 to prevent a government shutdown. We'll be going on a short break. More news when we return. Stay with us.